The topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
Welcome to my radio and TV show, Debi Changes Lives. I'm Debi, your certified holistic health coach. I revitalize people's lives by helping them identify the root causes of their health and mindset issues and create a custom, natural, holistic strategy to address them in the areas of mind, body, and soul. As a health coach, I'm not allowed to say that I heal, treat, cure, prevent, or diagnose any diseases. I can certainly make your body more efficient by reducing symptoms. You'll feel better, be more productive, and enjoy life more. Not many people have released 70 pounds, had a health transformation, and kept fit and trim for over a decade. I have, and I have staying power. And it's actually been over 11 years. I even became a half marathon runner at the age of 51 when I never ran from childhood to adulthood due to foot pain, and I have done 8 of them. Mindset is the key to lasting change. As a certified holistic health coach, I do revitalize people's lives in many different areas of health and mindset. I guide them to clean, toxic-free foods and high-quality essential nutrients. My coaching is for optimizing health, releasing weight efficiently if needed, and enhancing your mindset. With my clients, I help them recognize that their thoughts, feelings, and emotions drive their actions and results, sometimes good and sometimes bad. That's why it's crucial to have a positive mindset to succeed in life. It's also imperative to manage your emotions and release those low vibrational emotions such as fear, frustration, and doubt, because they'll slow you down and get you stuck. Physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Like a hot air balloon with ballasts, I help my clients release those emotional ballasts and baggages so they can uplift to a happier, healthier life, and in turn, they're releasing their stress and reshaping their core beliefs. You will see and feel the differences with my coaching programs. Ask me about them. Set up a complimentary consultation at my link tree at Debi Changes Lives, DebiChangesLive as in victory, es.com/link tree, LINKTREE. And I will guide you to that better, happier, healthier life with custom natural solutions for mind, body, and soul. We certainly are living through uncertain times. People are losing their jobs, there's stress, and there's unrest around the world. Just remember what's going on around you, you cannot control. You can control how you respond to it. I created a new workshop, Empower Your Mind and Life, which is on Saturday, June 21st at 9 a.m. Pacific, where you're going to learn how to manage your emotions and manage your stress. For more information, go to the site, bit.ly/empower your mind and life, all spelled out as one word with no spaces, and register for it. Today, I am excited to have Sloane Reali, a vocal coach and the CEO of Voice Coaching by Sloane. She has over 25 years experience helping thousands of speakers, performers, and everyday people to find the power of their voice. Being a singer, speaker, and healer, she has a holistic approach similar to mine. She teaches her clients to cultivate their inner brilliance and to create life-changing wellness, utilizing self-care practices for voice, as well as calm breathing techniques. She helps someone to raise their emotional frequency, vibrational frequency, and she also helps with helping her clients to practicing self-love acts of kindness and services. In turn, she helps people overcome vocal insecurities, build confidence, and connect with their voice mentally and physically for well-being. She's also a best-selling author of Find Your Voice, Transform Your Life. And she has her own podcast that she hosts. It's called Find Your Voice, Rock Your Confidence. So today we'll be discussing voice coaching for deep well-being, mental health, and confidence. So let's welcome Sloane Reali, a vocal coach and CEO of Voice Coaching by Sloane, to the show. Welcome, Sloane.
Debbie, thank you so much. It is so good to finally be here. Here we are, co-creating, co-collaborating, co-educating your audience, our audience. This is wonderful. Your demographics, all humans, right? Not necessarily specifically towards women, but all beings.
All humans, yes.
Love that.
Women's are the ones that really, are gravitated toward me. So yes.
Yeah.
So anyways, people's health and mindset really shows apparently on their physical body, and so does their voice. What are the unexpected health benefits of using one's voice fully?
That's a loaded question. It's a simple question, but there's so many things that are related to that. And, I just want to first say one of the things that really drew me to you, and you've been such an inspiration with what you have accomplished. And it's so interesting how, so much of what we all do as adults go back to something that happened when we were children, challenges, struggles, trauma. The health benefits, it's so hard to just answer that straight up. I need to go back to, as a child, I was very, very sick. I was hospitalized every year. I would get colds, that a cold would then turn into bronchitis that would then develop into pneumonia. And I was hospitalized like the first 12 years of my life. What happened, I did not realize at a very early age, because I didn't like the medications, they would shoot me up with steroids.
Yes.
And that would make me very jittery. So, I'm talking 8, 9 years old. I had taught myself how to stop asthma attacks when they would start to come. By elevating myself, sitting myself up in my bed with pillows, slowing my breath down. So, and I only recently really connected all of these dots, because today, at my age, many, many decades later, I am the healthiest I have ever been in my entire life. Vitamin C is the only thing I take as any type of supplement. I take nothing else, none of that stuff. But as a child, I was already doing breath work. And breath work, there's a long way of coming back to, our voice is so connected to breath. We need air to move through the vocal cord muscles to make them vibrate, to then create sound. Without air moving through the vocal cords, there is no sound. And then depending how you're breathing, how much air you're moving, depends on what sound is being created. So, not knowing what I was doing as a kid, fast forward all these years later, the breath literally, people come in for all different reasons to work with me. There's usually, and the same with you, I'm sure they come in for one thing, and then before you know it, you're completely down another road. It's completely connected to why they thought they were coming in.
Exactly.
But I would say, it's a huge percentage, 90% of the people that come in, I'm 25 years, thousands of clients later, I have to teach people how to breathe to start. Most people are short, shallow breathing. When they do breathe, they're inhaling shoulders up to the the ear, right? So we're really creating a lot of space between the ears and the shoulders. I'm teaching them how to slow the breath down, bring that all the way down past the lungs into that solar plexus muscle that's below your rib cage, above your belly button. And then we can get started. But the benefits, health benefits, so many benefits, mental, physical, emotional, mental, of just breathing correctly is
Mhm.
so huge. And I love how you open up the show. You're absolutely right. I mean, there's so many things out of our control right now. There's
Yes.
so many people walking around anxious and, and not able to sleep and worried about things out of their control. And the simple act of just breathing correctly, can
Yes.
shift all of that. I mean, in a matter of seconds.
Mhm. Yes, it does. Because when you slow down your breathing, you're slowing down your sympathetic nervous system, and you're going into parasympathetic, and it slows down your thinking. And when you concentrate on your breath, you become less anxious and less fearful and more confident, which I'm sure that's what you're doing with the vocal coaching. You need to have confidence for vocal coaching, especially if you're a performer or even a speaker. But everybody speaks these days. They speak in schools, they speak doing presentations, they speak, in meetings as well. And we need to know how to breathe because it will calm us down. And recently, I've learned how to do acupressure, self-care acupressure too, which really helps down that stress and emotion as well. And I've incorporated it with my breathing at night. I do it at night before I go to bed. Boom, I'm out like a light.
Nice. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, first thing in the morning and at night before we go to bed are wonderful. And in
Mhm.
fact, I follow Joe Dispenza's work. He's one of my mentors for the last, probably almost 2 years now. I do a lot of his work. But I was just reminded that time at night when we're creating the most melatonin, when our brain is most receptive, is between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. in the morning. So,
Mhm.
if you happen to be one of those lucky people who are waking up at that time, rather than getting frustrated, go back to your breath, go back to visualizing the day ahead and, really elevating, how do you want the day to look instead of worrying about how yesterday went. And oh my gosh, is today going to be a repeat of yesterday's mess, right? We get every day is a new day. We got a whole new 24 hours ahead of us to start all over.
Yeah, and it's not going to be Groundhog Day.
Right? Right.
And usually when people wake up during those times, it's because their cortisol levels are high and their adrenals are fatigued. And with all that going on, it slows down your metabolism and release weight. And also, think clearly. So that's why it's really important to breathe correctly and also take time to breathe. And some people think, oh, I was in my 20s or early 30s. I didn't quite understand meditation at all.
Me neither.
But like I have grown up and learned, oh, is that why I have this digestive issue? Oh, that's why I tend to be anxious. Oh, that's why I do X, Y, and Z. And I've learned so much throughout my health transformational journey that I even got off the depression medication as well.
Wow.
So
That's huge.
it is really huge. And the doctor's the one that took me off. It wasn't like I went cold turkey. Don't go cold turkey because those things have nasty side effects. But you talk to your doctor saying you want to get off this medication because a lot of this medication has side effects. And to tell you the truth, with synthetic chemicals, your body is fighting it. Do natural approaches like the breathing, like eating clean foods. Release the day
Mhm.
and know that the next day is going to be different. And like Joe Dispenza talks about, be grateful at night and be grateful in the morning. Gratitude is so important.
Yeah. Oh, it's a huge It's a changer. I mean, it literally will change your emotional state. Just the simple act of, even just saying 3 things that you're grateful for. There's something literally that shifts in our brain, shifts in our body. And I know one of the big challenges, and I hear this a lot, and I mean, when people come in, and you might get this too, Debbie, I actually have to preface and let people know I am not a therapist. I am
Yeah.
a professional vocal coach. What we are doing might feel therapeutic,
Yes.
but it's so effective, and it doesn't take much to shift our thinking, our breathing, our autonomic nervous system. But I know one of the challenges I hear often is because when I am doing breath work, I'm also, I use Heart Math Institute. There's a little device that you can hook onto the ear.
Yes.
It will actually give you a visual read of what is happening in your body. You can't fake the device out. I've
No,
tried
you
and like doing dishes and laundry while I'm doing my breath work. It does not work. The read does not come out anywhere near what I'm looking for. But I know
Yeah.
one of the challenges is that people are always saying, I don't have time. I don't have time to take the 5 minutes in the morning before I start my day. But I mean, just from personal experience, when I don't take the time, uh, my days don't go quite as smoothly as when I do. When I take the time, it's all part of my self-care, my daily regimen. The days it's smooth. I think I actually have you experienced this? I feel like I have literally multiplied time. Like when I have felt like I'm in a crunch, I really don't have time to take care of this or do my prayer or whatever. And then before I know it, my time has increased more than what I started with. It's the physics, it's that quantum physics stuff, that fifth dimension stuff.
Yeah, because it's making you more productive. And tell you the truth, time is illusion. It's like a delusion in a way.
Completely. It's not even real. But
Mm.
until people get to that point where they understand that, because to the logical brain, this does not make any sense at all. But when you
Right.
start practicing and doing this work, for you, the listener, you, the audience that are listening, go check this stuff out. It's really, it's blown my mind. And the things I've experienced, in health and healing and increasing my time in relationships, in my business, I can't explain what has happened. It's like this magical thing.
Yes. Yes, because it has to also do with your mindset too. I
Absolutely.
noticed when I first started the show, I was nervous to cat because I'm not a person who likes being in front of the camera. And so I would say things really fast, and people say, "Oh, you speak really quickly." And as I got more comfortable, I'm saying, "I don't care about time anymore." I notice I'm speaking in the same time frame, maybe a little bit longer, I mean. But my whole point is I'm just doing it, and I don't, time passes, and that's part of life. So I don't get anxious about it.
Oh, that is so huge. On that same note, I have, because I've always been a big planner. I've always had, my outline notes, and I got them whenever I'm teaching or I'm doing a course or a workshop. I want to make sure that I cover all of these things, or if I'm on a stage. And what has happened is I start with my bullets, and then I really, especially if it's a live audience, I might start off in one direction, but based on what's happening in that audience, I
Mhm.
may end up going a totally different direction.
Yeah.
Coming back to mindset, I really trust that, the message, the teaching, whatever it is I'm there to present, that audience, those people are going to get exactly what they came for. They're going to get exactly what they need at the time.
Mhm.
So I just really trust, the universe, source, God, whatever that is for all of us and the listening audience. Um,
Right.
is definitely something greater than myself that
Yes.
is running the show, and it is not me. And when I just turn things over, I am always just blown away and
Yeah.
blessed beyond my wildest dreams in so many cases.
Me too, as well. Now, just to touch on breathing a little bit, it is crucial for everybody's wellness, and it really made a difference in you. But, breathing correctly for a performer, whether they play an instrument or even vocal, it's very imperative. So how can people do it correctly?
Oh my goodness. Just, the simplest things, the very first thing is start to be mindful. Mindfulness is so connected to, everything that we do holistically and, that mindset. But just start to take notice, start to do a body scan and
Mhm.
pay attention to how you're breathing. And when I discovered, and this was over a decade ago, I thought I was breathing correctly, but it wasn't until I think I was at a stoplight in my car, and I used to catch myself with my shoulders up by my ears,
Well,
and then
because you're driving like this. I'm sorry.
but I literally I was in my car when I realized, "What is going on here?" And I used to get horrible headaches and my back.
Mhm.
That's the other thing that I've not experienced in years. In between my scapula, my shoulders would be
Mhm.
so tight and achy. And once I discovered that, I took a closer look. And
Mhm.
anything, we know as teachers, as coaches, as
Yeah.
as experts in our field, when we're helping other people and our own clients to do these things, because we're teaching it, we're in it all the time. So, we're benefiting. That's why we are so healthy, because we're helping other people to be healthy. But for some very simple things that I would ask you all to do who are listening or watching this is pay attention to, first of all, where are your shoulders? If
Yes.
your shoulders are up by your ears, it's just bring them down. Just relax, roll those shoulders up and back and down. Some neck rolls. Pay attention to, are you breathing through your nose? Are you breathing through your mouth? A lot of people are breathing through, and there's not a right or wrong. The important thing is you keep breathing. All right. I mean, we can live so long, we can live a few days without food. We can live a little bit without water, but I mean, it's a matter of minutes without breath
Man,
before
that's
you're
a problem.
declared dead. So breathing is imperative to literally your life. Making sure that when you do breathe, now the healthiest thing you could do is start to get into the habit of drawing that breath, whether nose or mouth, all the way down past the lungs into that solar plexus muscle that I mentioned earlier. And,
Yes.
and the easiest way to do that is you just put your hands on that muscle below the rib cage, above the belly button. And when you inhale, the goal is to move the hands forward away from your spine when you take that breath in. And then when you exhale, the hands should go towards the spine. So your solar plexus is contracting now. And
Yes.
if you're all here, let's try that again together. Take a breath in, move that hand on your belly forward with an inhale, and then exhale the hand toward the spine. Good. And I love that. Debbie, you're such a good example there. Our shoulders didn't move at all.
Yeah.
Uh, and there's so many different practices, yoga breathing, mindfulness breathing. There's box breathing where
Yeah.
you inhale for 4, hold for 4,
Mhm.
exhale for double that for 8. Anytime you exhale twice the amount of time that you inhale, now you're oxygenating the blood in your body. Now you're actually cleaning the blood in your body. And that's just a super simple. I mean, there are a million different ways to breathe, breathing exercises. There's so many free things available, apps, Calm,
Yeah.
Deepak Chopra. There's just so many. And in my book, I list a whole list of resources. Gaia, people can go. But I mean, just the simple act of remembering to be, because one of the things I also notice about myself and many people I work with is people are holding their breath.
Yes, they are.
It's amazing how many people are holding their breath and not even aware. We're not even aware we're doing it.
Yeah, I know. It's interesting with, when it comes to releasing stress, sometimes it's that double, time for that exhale where you do it slow and gradually, or you do it with a ha.
Oh yeah, the pranayama.
because what that's really doing is it's releasing that stress. You bring your shoulders down and back, and it's also getting that air out properly. And it's something to think about when you do it, and it'll make you more aware. And you'll notice, like I said, that your thoughts will slow down and everything else. Now, when it comes to fear and anxiety, these breathing techniques are really important. Pause when something happens to you rather than fight, flight, and freeze. Pause. And maybe you won't know exactly what to do, but don't respond immediately. Try to think about it. And that gives you some time when you pause and breathe through it. And you can't control what's going on around you or something is done to you, but you can't control how you respond. And what's really important is that people be aware of their body, like you do that body scan. Where is this pain coming from? Where is this angst coming from? Where is this fear coming from? Fear is like 31 flavors. I'm sorry. There's so many different emotions.
Oh yeah, for sure. More.
Yeah, I know. And I know a lot more. But my whole point is once you're more aware of it, then you can handle it better. And I'm sure you take step with people to overcome their fear regarding the voice.
Oh yeah, and breath work is where we start. But frequently, I wanted to go back what you were just talking about. When we're in fear or when we're in panic or we're feeling attacked. So much of this, coming back to our perception, personalities and relationships or conflict, just in communication, just in general. We tend to go into this, you mentioned the fight, flight, or freeze,
Right.
or a panic mode. And it's our natural instinct, right? It's that that amygdala, that part of the brain that says, I'm in danger, I need to run.
Yes.
Where what the ideal thing to do, I mean, if someone is in an imperative danger, your kid's walking out in the street and they're going to run out in front of a car, that you're going to run and grab that kid.
Yes. You'll become super mom, the bionic woman.
Exactly. But by taking a moment, if it's not life threatening, because we're not thinking straight when we're in that
No,
place.
we're not.
By stopping, taking a breath, that simple act stops us. It clears our head. It gives us perspective. And one of the things I don't know if as I'm getting older or I've just been doing this for so long now, and I know I've completely left your question, is not taking things personally. A perspective. If you were to put 5, 10, 20 people all in a room, and we're all in a circle. And somebody comes in and, rattles off a bunch of nonsensical words and flaps their arms and then does a few push-ups and leaves the room. We're going to have 20 different perspectives of what just happened.
Exactly. And it's obviously this individual is having an issue.
Right.
And, the best thing is not to react to it. Go, oh my goodness, this is going on.
Yeah. Just observe.
It can like, do a ringer to you, but just let it go.
Yeah.
Let it be.
Yeah.
It was their issue. And you just need to move forward. And I'm a person when things happen. Yeah, it takes me a little bit longer I don't respond really quickly. I kind of stay silent. But my whole point is it does, settle on your mind. And your mind will sometimes ruminate about these things. And you just need to let it go. Because you don't want it to hurt your self-worth when talking about, confidence. And you don't want it to add on to other things that you think it's going to become an anxiety or fear due to something that happened to you in your past, right?
So true. one of the reasons I became a voice coach, nothing is by accident, right? I see what I do now. First of all, I'm so blessed to do this work. I love the clients. I'm so grateful for the people I get to work with. What I do has evolved. It used to just be teaching people how to sing and get on a stage with confidence. And now there's so many other things. I work with now speakers and people that are new to stages, new authors, new podcasters that are new to the whole process, people with physical things that are going on with their voice. But I just completely lost my thought.
That's okay.
You
The
were-
whole point is you've learned a lot
yes.
with what you do with others.
Yes. Yes.
A lot of things to your service. So yeah.
I know what I was going to say. When things are happening that are upsetting, and I don't get too upset about things anymore. I'm pretty detached, but I've had a recurring, I've had 3 or 4 different incidents in the last 3 or 4 months, and it's the same thing.
It's a weird situation these last few months, the 4 months. Yes.
It's and when I really sit back, because at first I was like, what the heck? And it was all client, it was all new client related, potential new clients
Yes.
that were just doing things that were not, I haven't seen this in years. So,
Yes.
I'm like, okay, that was weird. People like making appointments and then not keeping their appointments, not showing for the appointment, calling me 30 minutes before the appointment after they confirmed 2 days earlier. I mean, just very strange things. And I'm just using that as an example because what has happened for my brain, it's like, okay, Sloane, there's something here that you need to learn. And I need to go back to, how I used to run my systems. If you're going to get on the calendar, you're paying for the session before we meet. I've gotten really lax with all of that. So there's, when things are happening that aren't making sense. And there was one incident that was actually got really bad. Like I was being stalked by this person and her husband online and through emails and texts and their credit card company. Oh, it was really bad. I was just like, where is this coming from? What am I doing something to attract this? This is so bizarre. And I took it personally. And, normally what would take me weeks to get over something like that, Debbie, it ended up only taking me, the weekend, but to go back and I'm very grateful when I have, a learning opportunity, as long as I'm learning from it, it's like, okay, all right, I'm making a note. I'm tired of this happening. I'm not going to allow this to happen anymore in my life. We teach people how to treat us.
Yes.
And, so when things happen, there's either something to learn from it.
Exactly. You're just like me.
Right.
You're just like me. It's a growing moment. You learn from it. And they're like, okay, I'm going to do this differently.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So coming back, you were asking about, overcoming fear with clients. It starts the very first time that I meet with a client. And I do work online and with both coasts and all that, but I have I'm sure that you probably have the same thing, Debbie. I have an intake form that I go through, and it is really, it's 3 parts. It's the physical breakdown of the voice. We're talking about, vocal health care, what we're going to do, practical, the exercises that we're going to make a little workout for you. When you leave, you're going to walk out of here with these exercises, start using. But there is the mindset. There's the psychological part.
Yes.
And in that session, I'm asking them, tell me about growing up. Were you allowed to make noise in the house, or did you walk on eggshells like I did as a kid, right? My mom worked graveyard shifts. We couldn't make any sound during the day. It was not a normal childhood by any means at all. I thought everybody was growing up in the same kind of house. And as an adult, I've learned, no, that wasn't normal. Not just that part, but all the other trauma and drama, that came with that, and what she did in her line of work, and all of that was interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of like my father said, children are seen and not heard. So I tended to be a quiet, shy person. I never got in trouble. I always kept myself busy, but that's my whole point. So all these things that happen, you get, those are things that they said, and they were brought up with certain ideals from their parents, and our parents are not perfect. Right. So you just got to forgive and forget and move on. And that's what you need to do with present circumstances too.
Absolutely. Everything, every generation, has the next, and honestly, only recently, have I really come to a point where I've really realized my parents were teenagers when they were, when they had me. It was a shotgun wedding. It was old school. There was not a lot of support from either sets of parents.
Mm-hmm.
And I, relatively recently just, realizing and being grateful, they were doing the best that they could with what they had. And I'm very grateful that, I think I've broken a lot of generational things that did not
work,
that weren't healthy, that weren't happy growing up. And I've got 3 kids from 21 to 28 years old now, and my relationship with them is so different, and relatively happy, and they're healthy, and they're flying, and like they keep, they leave and they come back for a little bit, and one leaves, another one comes back.
I broke the roles as well, because I'm a completely different person than my mom.
Right.
Now, when it comes to, vocal, coaching and things like that, of course, there's a difference between singing and speaking and making a presentation and managing teams. It's all the tone of the voice. So you want to cover that?
Oh, what a great question. Well, the mechanism, the physiology of our body, it's the same mechanism, whether we're doing any of these things. So it's still that deep solar plexus breathing connected to the diaphragm muscle. But I love what you mentioned. So primarily some differences there. Singing, it's very clear, if there's a melody there, right? There's certain tones and pitch and all of that. If we're speaking, for presenting, one of the things I work with the presenters, people getting on stages, is that you want to pay attention to things like the speed at which you're speaking, that you're not speaking too slow, that you're not speaking too fast. You're practicing the power of the pause, where you're going to take your breath, that you can also incorporate melody even when you are speaking, right? There's not all the same, like this, right there, right there, right? But I love what you said about tone. Well, there's tone, there's pitch, there's timing, there's what we emphasize. I love, and this is in my book as well, I incorporated into the vocal work that I do. It wasn't part of my certification when I got my training and became a voice coach. I kind of, so many things. I want to say things happened by accident, but they didn't. I mean, I discovered things along the way, and the resources and my books and sound healing and frequency. I include going over the different elements in the voice. So earth, air, fire, water, metal. And I love that you asked that question, because each of those elements signify or represent, they give off the sound of, for example, someone who has a lot of earth in their voice, be like James Earl Jones. He's great, very grounded. When you hear him, you're in good hands.
Right.
He exemplifies authority. He knows what he's talking about. He's trustworthy, versus that very breathy, if you remember the famous Marilyn Monroe, happy birthday, Mr. President.
Yes.
Right? If we were to go into a meeting to lead a team and we were going to speak this way,
You don't want to do that.
Right? It's like, no way. Nobody's going to take you seriously, right?
Right.
There's never, there are two elements, too much air and too much metal in the voice. Metal, it would be very Lucille Ball. Remember?
Through the nose.
Oh, Ricky. Right? That sound there. So those are 2 instances you would want to use those very conservatively. I love earth, fire, and water. Water is very calming. So like people, great example. I use these examples in the book, I think, but like preschool teachers, you're hopefully you're a dental hygienist, all have a lot of water in their voice. They're very calming, very nurturing, very loving. And fire is kind of the thing that breaks that up. Fire is passion. Fire is that enthusiasm, right? So if you're giving a speech, I just went over this with one of my ladies a couple days ago. She's going to be her mission statement. She just brought it to a session. We broke it down, and she was doing great. She has a lot of authority. She comes from a corporate background. She has started her own business now. So it was a lot of earth, a lot of authority, water, kind of mixed with water. But what she was missing was the fire piece. And we were able to go in and just, highlight a few words in her mission statement where she was just going to use a little bit more enthusiasm, maybe turn into a punch word, increase that melody, that enthusiasm, that athleticism, that excitement. Because when we're excited, our clients get excited, our audience gets excited.
And they just, deliver the message that's more appealing to their audience. Now, we need to get to your offer.
Ready?
Yeah, I know. It went really fast, didn't it?
This always happens. Oh, thank you so much, Debi. Oh, this is a great place. The website, first of all, is filled with a ton of resources for you, the listening and viewing audience. Under one of the drop-down menus, Work with Sloane, go to free stuff, right? Vocal Coaching by Sloane is SLOANE.com. Free stuff. There are 3 different audio files there. They're two of them are little 10-minute. One is a vocal warm-up tutorial. Another one, my favorite one, it's the I Am meditations. And I basically take you through the alphabet from A to Z, where I have you breathe in, I am, and then you exhale something that starts with the letter A. And I take you from A to Z, totally fun.
And then consultation too.
Yes, the complimentary Conquer the Mic session, that is a link to my calendar. Go grab a slot on the calendar. And that's really just a conversation for me to learn more about the client, potential client. There's no obligation. That is a complimentary session for us to have a session, talk about what it is that you're needing help with. If you're just curious, if you just have questions, if you're dealing with a vocal health setback and you need resources, that's what that session is about. But again, it's just to check in, see if I can be helpful. If I can't help you, I definitely have a ton of resources that I can refer you to.
Okay, great. So you want to mention
Debi changes lives.
She knows where it comes from. Now that's a wonderful offer. I got to ask you, would you like to be a guest again?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And we are going to be working in the future with a collaboration. So please stick around for closing remarks. I'm going to try to get to them really quickly. And so stick around, okay? Great. Now remember, I do revitalize people's lives in many different areas of health and mindset. It could be your gut. It could be mindset. It could be cognition for the brain and memory. It could be immunity or bone and joint. Whatever I do for you, I'm guiding you to clean, toxic-free foods and high-quality essential nutrient products that will reduce symptoms. You'll feel better and possibly uplift your mood and maybe really a little uplift your mood, but it will possibly release weight. Now, with my mindset coaching, I do help you release your emotions, your stress, and help you release those entanglements from the past, as well as reshaping your core beliefs. So what I'm doing is I'm enhancing your mindset. With my health optimization and weight release, your body's be more efficient. So that's that mind-body connection that will make your soul sing. So ask me about my programs. Set up that complimentary consultation at my link tree at Debi Changes Lives, DebiChangesLives, LIV as in Victory ES.com/linktree, LINKTREE. And you'll get to know me, I get to know you, and I'll guide you to the ultimate health. And it starts with 1 or 2 assessments. Now, the health evaluation is actually complimentary, where you rate your symptoms in the last 30 days in 4 categories of health. The questions are repeated. You will get a baseline score that you approve upon, and I will review that with you. And then when you move forward with my services, I create a custom natural holistic strategy to address them, and we'll do this health evaluation on a monthly basis to see your progress. I have 2 different body scans, and they're both from Zyto. I prefer to do Zyto's Viscera link. which is a transdermal optical imaging app that I send a link to your phone. You scan your face for 30 seconds. It's only looking at blood flow for components of energetic, functional, and emotional, and different body systems and lifestyles. That emotional component is so important. And it creates a wellness report of biomarkers out of range and products and services that bring it back into range. I do review this with you because it's quite intensive. It costs $75. When you move forward with either a program or product, I give you a $25 discount. And I also can give you a family pack of 5, saving $50. Now, the Zira link is that Transdermal Optical Imaging app, also known as TOI. It's quite accurate, and you can look it up at pubmed.gov. That's PUBMED.gov for its accuracy. And people are really amazed what their body tells them. Curious? Get your first one on this consultation link to see what it's all about. And on this site as well as Take Your Body Back, which is my 12-week weight release mindset coaching program where you can utilize a new version of you to drive you to success. All coaching is done on Zoom. The first one's always private to you because I go over your health analysis. I also give you a choice between 2 meal plans, directions on one, and instructions how to create that new version of you with they'll drive you with emotion and passion to achieve your health and weight transformational goals throughout the journey. Now, with the coaching, whether it's private or group, it's the same. You'll be celebrating your wins, be using those boards, and I guide you over your gaps with health and mindset tips. You will become a new you. You're always welcome to watch a previous episode, Holistic Self-Love, which has a lot of stuff that we talked about today. And just remember, the price of this program has gone up. YFAST is an intermittent fasting program that gets your cells and body humming and in turn builds your metabolism with rich, dense nutrition and high quality essential nutrients, and a program of exercises and recipes. Here you would ask me questions. If you feel like you need some coaching, then there's a 2 or 4-week program that could get you going, and it's up to you whether you want to pay for more coaching. Just remember that intermittent fasting actually repairs cells, reduces inflammation, and uplifts your mood. Now, you can use these smaller coaching programs for help, for mindset coaching as well as health optimization. Truly, those are longer-term journeys, and it'd be probably more economical to do a larger program. But I'll also create a custom program for you. Now, I am offering for a limited time Debi's Coaching Chats, which is a 30-minute complimentary coaching session in a group setting, and it's not recorded. There's many topics I will cover. I can't go through them all right now, but health optimization, releasing weight, stress, things like that, creating a winning mindset. And you can even create the avatar board. These meetings are on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, and you need to be registered for it. And it's at Debi Changes Lives, DebiChangesLives, as in victory, ES.com/chats, CHATS. And you'll learn what my coaching is all about. Finally, learn more about alternative health, services, products, programs, offers, articles, blogs, upcoming shows, events, and promos by subscribing to my newsletter, which is at DebiChangesLives.com. This time, /radio TV show, all is one word. And I'll give you a gift, a 30-day health and mindset daily action journal where you can record your gratitudes, thoughts, feelings, emotions, food, water, supplements, and exercise you do on a daily basis, even track your measurements. Then you want to review it on a daily, weekly, monthly basis to celebrate your wins and find your gaps to work on. If you need to have help bridging your gap, you contact me with coaching. This journal is a great health and mindset awareness tool. I am certain that you found this show educational, eye-opening, and enjoyed it. Reach out to me for my services, products, and offers, and reach out to Sloane for her vocal coaching offer and services. Do we have time to have Sloane come back? Okay, we only have 1 minute.
Debi, thank you so much. This was really wonderful. You're doing great work. You are an inspiration to so many, your clients. It's so wonderful to have met you through the International Speaking Network. Yes. And thank you so much for having me here today. I would love to do a collaboration in the future. It'd be great to get something on the calendar and actually have that happen before the end of this year. I know the year is already flying. We're almost halfway through it. I don't know what happened. But I would love to continue this conversation.
Yeah. And, whether it's a workshop, I don't know if we can do a person, but definitely a workshop or a webinar.
That would be fun.
Yes, that would be really fun. Well, thank you for being my guest. I need to close it out now. So continue to enjoy my radio and TV show, Debi Changes Lives, which is on Thursdays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, where your holistic journey begins.